Good afternoon, Joe Victor with Allendale Incorporated, closing commentary for Thursday, May 6th. And of course, if you haven't seen what's been happening, it's not only in the grains or the infection in the soybeans, meal, and oil, and that's where funds are longest, but they found a safe haven. What they did is they went into gold. Crude oil down, the stock market down. We saw the dollar higher, but we also saw the gold. Gold was up. We haven't seen these kind of highs since December 4th of 2009. So funds found a safe haven, primarily Greece, but you also have to include into that, look at Spain, Portugal, the kind of monetary crisis that they have that's ongoing. And of course, who's owed the majority of the money? It's primarily Germany, France, as well as Great Britain. But primarily what we saw is not only the grains, and more specifically the soybeans, meal, and oil, as we said, down as hard as they were, but look at the other outside markets, other commodities, that crude oil down. Also, the cocoa, the coffee, the sugar. Usually when we have the corn down as much as they were, you see the feeders starting to move a little bit higher, but we're not finding value. What it is, again, funds primarily finding that safe haven. And again, but what they're doing is they're buying gold, they're buying the dollar, given the Greece problem, they found the safe haven, and of course they're taking money out of the stock market. And of course, looking at support 917, we have to hold 917 in the November futures for soybeans. When it comes to corn, looking at least 379 3/4. December new crop corn has to hold that level. And of course, cattle for 92.95, and of course, in the hogs at 82.50. Those are the key support levels. With the break that we did see, primarily in where funds were longest in the soybean meal, and soybean oil. One thing that we have to look at is next Thursday we better see some bigger export numbers when it comes to soybeans, meal, and oil. Also looking at not only the bigger exports, but like to see corn for ethanol making a little bit better rebound, and that is 2 months now. We haven't seen this since May of 2009, where taking a bushel of corn and turning it into ethanol. We've had 2 consecutive months now, April and May, starting to show signs that the ADMs of the world, the poets, we still have not heard any bankruptcy issues, but we're looking at negative margins for every bushel of corn that we're turning into 2.7, 2.8, possibly 2.9 gallons of ethanol. Support levels, again, we've provided those to you. One thing that we will say is for the stock market, 10,255, that's a 30 index. The stock market index, 30 most heavily traded commodities that are out there, are indexes that we're looking at. And of course, 10,255 needs to hold. If that doesn't hold, Katie, bar the door. Here we go lower. Any questions or comments, feel free to give us a call. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Any questions? 800-551-4626. Bad day at BlackRock here at Allendale. And of course, hedgers have to feel comfortable right now, of course, leading into what we anticipate at least 84% planted on the corn, and now shifting towards the soybeans. But any questions or comments that you should have about grains, livestock, or outside commodities, again, call us toll free 1-800-262-7538, or use the toll free Canadian number 800-551-4626. This is Joe Victor with Allendale Incorporated.